David will back up my story. I ran into him as I was leaving the church after praying for Kay and her new baby. He gave me a ride back here, didn't you, David?
Yes, I did. I saw Ivy waiting at the bus stop in her wheelchair. She seemed upset, so naturally I offered a ride to your house.
Now, do you believe me?
I'm just surprised is all. And you've never given me any sense that you cared about Kay.
She almost lost her baby tonight, Grace. Do you really think I am such a monster that I wouldn't have some concern for a poor young woman in her tragic circumstances? Because I do.
Nobody thinks you're a monster, Ivy. Okay, the least Grace and I can do is give you the benefit of the doubt.
I just find it hard to believe that you, of all people, went to St. Margaret Mary's to pray for my daughter and her child.
She said she did, Mom, and David backed her up.
Well, thank you, Jessica. You must take after your father. Contrary to your mother's low opinion of me, I do have a heart. I don't know why you find it so difficult to think that I might care about Kay when I can so closely identify with the dilemma she finds herself in. Unwed mother to a child by a man she loves but is out of reach.
Ivy, don't go there.
And not that it's any of your business, but I lit a second candle at church tonight for another unborn child. Ethan and Gwen's child. I am so worried about them, and now that they're so far away.
So far away? Well, they're right here in Harmony.
No. They left for Los Angeles earlier today.
What are they doing in Los Angeles?
Didn't Sam tell you? Gwen is having a very difficult pregnancy. And it turns out that the very best prenatal specialist has his office in Los Angeles. So there was no question about them going. I hate having them so far away when my first grandchild could be born at any moment.
I'm sure Ethan will take wonderful care of Gwen. And he'll let you know if there's anything you can do on this end.
Do you really think so, Sam? Because I am so worried about them.
Please, Sam, tell me that you are not buying into this. I mean, first, our grandchild suffers through a life and death crisis, and now all of a sudden, Ivy's grandchild is in peril. You know, Ivy, you really should get some fresh material for your act. It's just amazing that you would stoop so low as to use your unborn grandchild to win a few points with Sam.
How dare you? Gwen is ill, very ill. She and my son... Sam's and my son and Gwen have flown across the country to see the very best prenatal specialist in the world. And if you don't believe me...
She's right, Grace. Gwen almost miscarried. She almost lost the baby.
You knew that and you didn't tell me?
Ivy didn't want anyone to know where Ethan was going.
Well, tell her why, Sam.
What you hear in this room doesn't leave here. Is that understood?
Yes, Dad.
Ivy and Rebecca were afraid if Teresa heard where they were going, she might try to follow Ethan out to L.A.
But that still doesn't explain why you didn't tell me. I'm your wife.
Well, not to put too fine a point on it, Grace, but actually you're David's wife.
You know what, Ivy, you
All right,
really are...
everyone just calm down, okay? This isn't getting us anywhere. Now, do I have your word that you won't go with each other while I get us some refills?
Well, I really wish everyone would just eat the meal I made for them.
I'm sure you do, because then you can take credit for everyone eating, and then I have to go in there and clean up the mess.
You're ridiculous. I'll clean it up myself.
Why don't I go help Daddy?
You don't fool me a bit, Ivy.
No, I'm really not trying to, Grace. The concern I feel for Kay and her newborn child is every bit as real as the worry I feel for Gwen and her unborn child. My heart goes out to your daughter. And I'm sure you feel the same way. Oh, unless, of course, you won't allow yourself to.
And just what is that supposed to mean?
Maybe your guilt at having kicked Kay out of the house during her pregnancy is overriding all of your other emotions.
How dare you?
God knows I would be suffering the tortures of the damned if I thought that my lack of maternal concern had almost caused the death of my grandchild.
That is enough. Not another word. That was mean, Ivy. Petty and mean.
I only meant...
You meant to hurt Grace. That's pretty nervy considering how she's opened up our home to you.
Thank you, Sam. You know, I really don't feel like talking about this anymore. I'm gonna go in the kitchen and help Jessica.
I'm coming.
I know why you feel like you have to defend Grace, because you feel like there's no way to get back on track with her unless you do.
It's more than that, you know it.
Well, even you have to admit, Sam, that the reason that Kay almost lost her child, your first grandchild, is because she wasn't under your roof being cared for by her father and her mother.
That wasn't all Grace's fault.
Well, so you keep saying. But I was here when Kay left, remember? And I always thought it was just a little bit strange that Grace didn't fight a lot harder to keep her daughter at home. It's a terrible thing to drive your own child out of your house, especially a young, pregnant girl. You can call me petty and mean if you have to, Sam, but I would never do that to one of my own children.
Okay.